Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. Very good day to the audience. My name is Dr. Zila Safrana Jaafar. I'm talking on behalf of my colleague, Encik Muhammad Nizam Haji Ijum. We are from IPG Campus Pendidikan Teknik Nilai. I'm going to talk about deconstructing visual representations of cultural heritage, learners' visioning of the past. Without much ado. Imagine that we are looking around us and we are looking at visuals, mostly at visuals. This is the current trend of meaning making that has been focusing on the use of visuals and images as the representation. The contemporary universal, because it is happening throughout the world, this is a universal condition that is connected by the state of being surrounded, bombarded by visual images. What influences us, what attracts us will be the visual images that we see around us. In the research, there are a few important terms I would like to introduce. Oculocentric, the term coined by Mitchell in 1994, which refers to how visual dominate the way many people see things around them. Yeah, here seeing is believing, and that construct the doctrine of one person. Okay. The next term, information technology, by Kress 2010. This is a very commonsensical term which is related to the culture that we're having now. And what it does to the visual is that it improves the technology by making it more interesting or more colorful, it becomes more unique or even strange. Okay. Another term that will be visual culture by Muzaf in 2015 indicate the need to see the connection between visual and the culture of the people. So this is what we do in the research. We see the need to map the connection between culture and visual. A few other important terms are semiotics, representation, and revisioning. Semiotic is actually anything such as motion, gestures, image, sound, pattern, or events that convey meaning. Yeah? Anything that can actually carry meaning. Yeah? So the understanding of what we try to do to understand semiotics, science is actually called semiotics. Right? The ability to learn, the ability to understand is called semiotics. Whereby representation is standing for someone or something else used to indicate ideology, for example, sense of self. Last but not least, revisioning is actually the sign maker's creative strategy used when he refashions the representation from old to new, and again, this with the indication of ideological stance. Now, this brings to the issue. Is the new knowledge gathered as we see around believable, or can it be questionable, inappropriate, or unethical? This leads to the research question. What are the hidden voices revealed via the visual representations of selected cultural heritage? Indeed, voice is a very important semiotic resource. Yeah, it's important because it the hidden voice is where the politics of silence is revealed. Yeah, it is kept inside because it's not known to the rest. Yeah? And definitely voice as semiotic resource carry meanings. Another important term used in the research is cultural heritage. Yeah? This refers to the expression of ways people inherited and shared of ideas from the past generation, from the history, such as practices, expressions, values, customs. Yeah, um, and for our study, we choose the historical icon Hang Tuah and we are looking specifically at the representation of the hair. Now, before we move on, how to do the semiotic analysis? Okay, we opt the strategy of pastiche. Pastiche is actually the style of plagiarizing, quoting, borrowing from the previous style with no reference to history or sense of rules. Yeah. Uh, what we are trying to say is that we are looking at the students' work. The students' work actually the production of creative writing in E-method class where the students are asked to create multimodal digital poems out of the act of revisioning the past. So they see the product, maybe the image related to the past, and from the idea that they have, they alter and change it. Yeah. Uh, for example, their fashion, the representation becomes something very new. Now, the few steps taken in the analysis of the image. We have first data collection where we gather and we choose the data, and for the purpose of our research, you only choose two data. And next we have reading with the grain. We are looking into the strategy of passage. Third, we read against the grain. We look deep into what we have to see what is not uh, right, or maybe the loopholes in the explanation. Yeah. And last but not least, we have the discussion. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe we are all looking at Hang Tua's in a form of artistic representation. We have the picture of Hang Tua, the brass sculpture in Malacca, the Museum of Malacca, and next will be the drawing of Hang Tua. But what we are strongly aware of, both of them are holding Christ as the most dominant symbol of power possessed by Hang Tuah. Yeah, a very powerful warrior in Malacca. However, in our research, we are looking at the representation of hair. Yeah, there are two images, visual images, taken from the choices made by the learners in the class. The one on the right will be the picture of Hang Tuah, played by M. Nasir in the film Puteri Gunung Ledang. Okay, whereby on the left is the learner's own reenactment of the uh, character of Hang Tuah. Right. If you look at the hair, the one on the left, on the right will be considered long, whereby the one on the left is short. Okay. Now let's look at the beliefs on the visual representation of warriors' hair. Yeah. According to what we have in our research into the classical text, for example, Raja Donan in Jalani Harun, 1965. He says, apa guna kepuk di ladang kalau tidak berisi padi? Apa guna berambut panjang kalau tidak berani mati? Yeah. Here is indicates the importance of having long hair for the warrior, and in a sense is connected to the idea of bravery. Yeah, could be the line is used when they are in the ring of fight. They are actually challenging each other. Okay. According to Tuan Ismail Tuan So, this is actually the semiotic of hair that indicate a hero of a Malay culture should possess at least fuzzy shoulder length hair, which is actually the sign of a brave fighter. So what we have here is actually the comparison between short and long hair. Donning long hair is expected as according to the belief of the culture and custom, whereby having short hair actually how the students see how the learners see that a gentleman of contemporary practice should look like. So meaning making here can be seen made upon choices. One, what you see does that become your knowledge, and that actually become the construct of the culture. Or two, you have your own point of view of how a person should be presented. Yeah, maybe in this situation a new definition of warrior of the 21st century. So in conclusion, what we can see is that seeing is believing. It's true, it's very true that some may judge others based on what they see. Yeah. Next, information technology is the catalyst to the process of meaning making. From what we see is now the use of technology, whether they crop or whatever, the use of color, reproduction is actually um, accelerate the work of, of the influence of visuals to the people. Yeah. Semiotic analysis, as we have as I have explained just now, enables the process of discovering voice by examining the sign produced, and science making is due to choices made, either influenced by the cultural belief or by the individualism of the 21st century. This is the implication of the study. One, sign makers empowerment through creative production. Two, dynamic way of making meaning. And three, revisioning as the artistic and creative strategy opted by the learner and by us, the researcher, as we reflect, we unlearn, we relearn, and we reproduce our analysis of the work. With that, thank you very much.